Okay, I think preachers should preach and teach a gospel, and the pew should embrace a gospel that we all can live. Because the way that we are interpreting these scriptures and have been interpreting them for many years, and then what we see show up in our church, these things don't go together. So it's time for us to look at certain mistranslations of the Bible, like the word fornication, like the word homosexual.
Already, the stuff that he just said over here, somebody who is a doctor, somebody who used to be a pastor, to utter those words, it's just like, what are you saying? So he is saying that it's time we need to have a different gospel that's going to be palatable for everybody else. So guess what? We already have that in Galatians. Okay? Who has bewitched you? You Galatians. If an angel, even if an angel from heaven comes and gives you a different gospel, let him be anathema. So whatever this guy is saying, according to the scriptures, you know what I mean? Hey man, he's just damning himself. There isn't anything about another gospel, guys. There's just one gospel. Okay? Anything else that claims to be the so-called gospel, it is not a gospel. There isn't multiple gospels, guy. It's just one gospel. So clear, this guy doesn't know what the gospel is, because if he knew, those words wouldn't have come out of his mouth. And then he proceeded to say that we need different translations, or something like the translations that we have here are not good, whatever. Which translations?
We need to all understand that these were misinterpretations and mistranslations of old texts. And now we have these things that we preach and teach in our culture that's not actually biblical.
By what standard those things are not biblical? How do we know what you're saying is actually true? How do we attest the words that are coming out of his mouth for us to know? Let's suppose that whatever he's saying is right, is correct. How do we know? How do we know? How do we know? How do we know? Okay, so we know what he's saying. This is just his opinion. Okay, he's just making it up. Unfortunately, he has a large following, people who are eating it up and thinking whatever he says is absolutely garbage. It does not make any sense. Okay, this does not even rise up to the doctrines of demons. Because at least the devil disguises himself as an angel of light. That way he can deceive you, he can trick you. This guy is not even he's not even disguising himself. He's just telling it to you outright. So we'll be like, no.
All lies will be exposed. That's all.
Exactly. Okay, we continue.
We need to do this. We need to get very clear on this. We need to get very clear that the Bible does not rebuke as a sin premarital sex. That is not in the Bible. No, Larry, this says, you see that word fornication? Do you know where that word fornication comes from? It comes from porneia. And it actually goes farther than that. It comes from a word that literally means prostitute. So please tell me how premarital sex became the definition for a word that don't mean that. This is the first problem that I created on Facebook. I posted, homosexuality is not a biblical sin. I repeat, I am not attempting to convert anybody. This is me just sharing what I believe, my vantage point, what I teach, what I practice. That's all. This is not an attempt to get you to agree with me. You can just listen to me and see, okay, that's what he thinks. And that's how he sees it.
No, the problem is you are a public figure, okay? You're coming out teaching, but what you're teaching are lies. It's incorrect. And then you have the nerve, the audacity to add the word quote unquote biblical sin. That's not true. It's incorrect. It's a lie. So lies like this are escorting people where? To hell. This is not just him like, oh, I just prefer this. Like, no. Somebody's going to see this. Okay, we already know. We already have these issues even within the church, right? People don't want to categorize this as a sin issue. They want to make excuse about it. So now this guy is even doubling down. And we should just keep quiet and pretending like it's nothing? Like, no. What you're saying is not true. What you're saying is a lie. So people have to push back on this issue. You shouldn't be promoting lies. Especially publicly. No publicly, okay? Do this inside your home, okay? Where nobody can see, nobody can watch. That's just you, whatever you're doing in your home. But you're out here in a public square. Yes, this needs to be responded to. Rightfully so.
Let's read it. I see what I said on my Brian Carn live is being misrepresented. So I'm making this post to clarify what I said and not to attempt to change anyone's belief or practice. My platform is all about discussing and commentary. Anyway, I said it's not a biblical sin and that Jesus or no prophet or patriarch ever condemned gay or homosexual. Okay, let's pause there. Let's pause there and really wrap our head around this, because I think we just mull over this. Jesus Christ, that our religion is named for, Christ Jesus, Christianity, and we are Christians. What we believe and what we identify as who we are named for, Jesus Christ, never ever made any rebuke, any remark, even remotely, to gay or homosexual. I'm not saying what it means, or we're not adding no legs to this. I just want you to think about it. Jesus didn't say nothing about it. Now, he mentioned a whole lot of other stuff, but he didn't say nothing about that. Okay, not just Jesus. None of the patriarchs. None of the patriarchs.
All right, Matthew 19. This is Jesus, okay? Have you not read that he who created them from the beginning made them male and female? And said, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife. And the two shall become, right here, one flesh union. This is what Jesus is saying, and this is what Jesus affirms. So if what Larry is saying is actually true, Jesus never said, why would he be telling the people who came to him that haven't you read from the beginning? And what is from the beginning? In Genesis, where you had what? Adam and Eve. And when they are creating what you get, a suitable, right? You know, a partner suitable for what? For Adam, okay? A perfect suitable for Adam. Because if that was the case, then why did God have to create Eve? If anything, it would have just been what, as they say, Adam and Steve, right? But it's Adam and Eve. Why is it Adam and Eve? That's the only way you can have family, be fruitful and multiply. This is what God commanded them to be doing. Be fruitful and multiply and subdue the earth. Okay? Male and female. That's what God created. So this guy is coming out here telling us that Jesus never said anything about it. Guys, you're never going to find any positive, anything positive about the rainbow situation, okay? Anything that you're going to see is positive is what? Male and female. He who finds a wife, what? Finds a good thing, right? If you want to remain single, you can remain single. But if you cannot hold your passions, it is what? It is better for you what? To marry. You what? You have not sinned. But this guy wants to tell us that Jesus never said anything about it. Does he understand that Paul, whatever Paul wrote, do you know who discipled Paul? Do you know where Paul got his lesson from once he came to know Christ? It was Jesus himself in Arabia for 3 years. Straight download from the King of Kings himself. So if you're telling us that Paul didn't say this, by implication you're saying Jesus didn't say that. But Paul received the revelation from who? From Jesus himself. So who should we believe out here? Do you see how these people just lie on God, just lie on Jesus, just lie on Apostle Paul himself? And people are following these people. Oh my goodness.
Cole Mack says, man lay with another man is a sin, period. Okay, that is not Bible.
And this was written what? By a prophet as well. Okay, the one he says never said anything. Prophet Moses. Okay, so we have 18:22 right here. You shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination. And you shall not lie with any animal, and so make yourself unclean. So, this guy is telling us that the Bible doesn't say that. But this is right here. You shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination. And he's telling us, no, the Bible doesn't say anything about that. Like, hello, say something, Larry, that we can actually adhere to. But this is just lies. All right, guys, enjoy. I appreciate your viewership. Thank you. Stay tuned. More coming this week. Until next time, remember to be in the know. Thank you.